presentation at the April finance meeting, the unassigned fund balance should be 5 to 8% of our total budgeted expenditures. You can see in his presentation, the rainy day fund balance was $3.1 million last June, but it's projected to be less than $500,000 next June. With spending exceeding revenues by $1.3 million for 2 years in a row, the rainy day fund will be nearly wiped out by using it not for emergencies, but for planned expenditures that exceeded revenue. So while some here have said that there will be money to pay the bills, that reserve well is quickly running dry. It's also important to talk about what it means when people say something is already in the budget, when there's a budget deficit. Items that aren't allocated to the capital reserve or other special assigned funds contribute to the budget deficit that is draining from our rainy day fund. For example, a significant contribution to the deficit is the $870,000 increase in principal and interest, which I think is from the bonds for the middle school and high school building project. That seems to be something that we can't avoid at this time. However, there's over $100,000 for the proposed administration raises and retention of the interim superintendent that's being voted on tonight. Those aren't necessary at this time, but would be something contributing to the deficit. The budget also includes a $140,000 purchase of a new bus. While certainly not ideal, this purchase may need to be further delayed. Eliminating just those two items, which the district hasn't already committed to prior to tonight's meeting, would reduce the budget deficit about $250,000. I encourage the school district, administration, and the school board to take a close look and make the hard choices before they vote on the final budget for next month. Without significant cuts to spending, we will likely see another $1.3 million deficit next year, which would require an over 7% tax increase to balance the budget. Finally, I think it's important for the public to know that the Finance Committee is currently being chaired by someone who was appointed versus elected to the school board. Tonight, the board will vote on a new treasurer to be accountable to taxpayers. This person, can I just finish the last sentence?
Sure.
Thank you so much. How will this person be able to lead discussions and decisions about the spending of the district's $40 million budget without an experienced elected member of the board that can provide proper oversight of the administration's financial recommendations? Thank you.
Kathy Griffin.
Staff, and Mr. President. I would first like to thank the ones on this board that truly are here to help the children and their future. You volunteer your time, and at times it is an ungrateful position. I would also like to thank the superintendent and administrations for all you do. There are several rules that some in the community may not be aware of. All school districts and boards are controlled by the government policies that are written and have to be followed. This makes your jobs very difficult. I'm also glad to see the turnout of parents that came, the few of them that came tonight. We need more of them to be coming in here for the community to be involved. This is what we are working to accomplish with every school. We need to get the parents back to being more involved because they are your children and their education. I'm here today as a taxpayer in this district, and I, like others, are concerned to how our taxes are being spent. Also, to bring light to false information being spread in person or on social media with some that do not have the correct information on the budget and listening to others. Also, to bring light to several other issues that are out here in the community. So several in the community may be confused about what to believe is the truth. This drama is not to be aired in these school board meetings, and if there's any questions that need the truth about, I encourage anybody to please contact me or go straight to that person that's involved, and the information is on, or the district itself. We can help clear these matters up. Comments that I've seen from the last meetings in reference to a violation of the Sunshine Act with an individual board member placing a mirror and not wanting to be videotaping them during the board meeting. She has reasons and requested for him to stop, and he refused. Another speaker from the audience spoke up and stated that this is a Sunshine Act violation, to which the attorney stated that it is not. I saw a comment that the board does not want to be videotaped because they have something to hide and does not want transparency. You know, as I, that this is far from the truth. The board would gladly be videotaped by the school district themselves because the videos are protected and controlled in how they are used and stored. These videos taken by an individual board member are for his personal use and is not authorized by the district or the board to record. They are not school property and not used for school purposes. This board member videotaping is unprofessional. This member stated that he does not use or post any of the videos. This has since been proven false because he is posting clips on YouTube for his personal use, slandering board members, administration, community members, myself, others, and even the superintendent. This is a major issue that needs addressed and is hurting this board and school district and is taking the focus off of the children. This to me is a violation of the Sunshine Act because it states the Sunshine Act allows meetings to be recorded with an audio or video recording for the agency or by the agency. And the agency may issue reasonable rules concerning the use of recording devices. Such rules cannot be an attempt to prevent a member of the public from recording a meeting. The bylaws of the school district state that a board member, the board of school directors shall consist of 9 members. This person is labeled as a member, an elected official, not labeled as public. A question, Mr. President. If parents, guardians, and grandparents are having an issue with an unauthorized videotaping of their minor children in the audience, and the use of the recordings are not controlled by the board or school district. As you noticed, that the one person that's doing the videoing agreed to turn the video off when the children were still in here. He wouldn't have it, just to inform the board that children were still in the audience when he is recording. A board member stated that he has already received several phone calls from parents about this board member violating and videoing these children. This was addressed. The said member said that he would not video the children when they are present. But this does not take the concern away from all past recordings. These recordings need to stop for the protection of the women and children that come to these meetings. Mr. President, can you please confirm that these meetings are open to anyone? I'm questioning to why a member has a problem with Gettysburg residents coming when meetings are open to anyone. Really questioning to why, when he has a Gettysburg resident coming to these meetings, and one of them is a Gettysburg resident that financially supported him to run for the board. So to the community, I can stress, do not believe what you hear or read in social media from individuals and come to the source for the truth. Thank you.
Order, Carl. Carl?
Yes.
Order. Would you have the solicitor explain what the Sunshine Act is so this person can understand what it really means, please?
Not at this time. I'll wait on any public comments. When they're done, that we will handle that.
Thank you.
Jeremy Ressler is our next.
Good evening. My name is Jeremy Ressler, and I'm a taxpayer and resident of the district. I'd like to start by apologizing for my interruption at the beginning of the last work session meeting. Despite the fact that my wife is an elected official, my task as her protector does not stop, which is why I decided to put up the mirror. In the past, the dishonorable Mr. Sullivan has taken excerpts of me from his body cam footage and used them for nefarious reasons. He has denied doing it and has stated in his affidavit response and on social media that these cams are used for his personal protection. Which that statement might be reasonable, except for the small fact that he has taken short, cut out of context video clips along with disparaging titles and posted them online where he belittles the interim president, administration, board members, and the public. Who would want to show up now and speak publicly at a board meeting when they will be humiliated, belittled, and disparaged by that board member in a video clip? That is intimidation. The existence of these YouTube videos shows that that board member, again, blatantly lied to the other board members, the administration, and the public. One question I do have for the board and administration, when did you approve the creation of that YouTube channel labeled Littlestown Area School District, where those video clips are posted? That board member, you and your alter ego, Fred Sanford, are very busy keyboard warriors on social media last week, which is very surprising when I know you are busy flying your multi-million-dollar Cessna out of Dulles Airport for VIPs. But in several posts, you keep saying that the board doesn't want transparency. But the big question, though, is how are you transparent when you're commenting on social media under a pseudonym name? That is disingenuous at best, creepy at worst, but definitely not transparent. In other social media posts, you keep saying, as far as the district doing audio and video at the meetings, I have asked for that since day one. That's very confusing because you voted no on the upgraded audio equipment, and you have not brought any requests to either committee for the administration to look into video equipment. Dr. Bell's impeccable reputation and his decades of knowledge have been a godsend for the district, as he has flawlessly kept the district on track through its day-to-day operations, the building project, teacher contracts, support staff contracts, administration contracts, and the superintendent search, all at a fraction of the cost of what an installed superintendent would be. Thank you, Dr. Bell. It's very concerning that this board member continues to slander Dr. Bell in public meetings and on social media, saying, and I quote, "The problem is some of those elected are causing trouble and making connections with the interim superintendent and the two remaining board members. They formed a coup and are working against the ones who want things to get better. And now contracts for administration are being sweetened when they are not even due until June 30 of 2025. And in another post, and I quote, "Bottom line, I stepped down as president because they formed a coup against me within less than 5 months, driven by the current interim superintendent. It's dirty politics. They don't like transparency and they don't want honesty. That is the deal." Well, board member, proofreading and dictionary are your friends. Coup is spelled C-O-U-P, the P is silent. Second, your fall from grace was your own doing, and it was the board that was going to remove you, not Dr. Bell. You were the one who lied to the board, not the other way around. Third, when the district has such phenomenal administration staff, why would you not want to secure their services for as long as you can? And you made comments before, why are coaches leaving? Why are teachers leaving? Here's a prime example where they're trying to keep good people in place, and you don't want it. There's been several other social media posts talking about mismanagement of funds, low math proficiency, and how he's the one trying to get things done for the district. And I'm perplexed at how he's actually trying to do that. He never introduces anything of substance to the board to evaluate. He consistently has issues with any policy updates. He refuses to work with an interim superintendent and administration, and he refuses to be a member of any committee. It's a head scratcher for sure. The last social media post that I would like to address is the one where he is quoted as saying, "This board member has security cameras on her house that even catch the road. I've never invited you to my house and certainly never disclosed any details with you about cameras I may have installed. So how do you know any of these specific details? Talk about a stalker. Therefore, pursuant to Pennsylvania law, section 3503, letter B, you, Dwayne Stephen Sullivan, are hereby formally trespassed from my property."
Order, please. Thank you. Those who spoke all have been noted and words will be taken up. Mr. Sullivan, you asked about the Sunshine Act. You didn't go there, Dr. Graham. Scare the bejesus out of me. The solicitor has said that he cannot give legal advice for anybody other than the board, so he will not answer that particular question. So at this point, public comment's over, and since we've been at this for an hour and a half, does anybody need to use the bathroom break? I notice one's already gone. We're going to take a 5-minute bathroom break, please. Where is it? Tell me where it is.
Because I didn't wear the.
Where is it?
Wear the shirt, isn't it?
That's
Right, straight out the door.
Mr. Warder, was it unlocked?
It was not. It was not. It was not locked. It was unlocked. I didn't hear on. I'm sorry. I didn't. I heard locked. Yeah, it was not locked.
Gonna do it
these.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
I appreciate that.
Back and forth.
Well, she's only here for 2 years, so maybe the voters will actually pay attention this time and not vote just because she's Republican. I know. Well, keep in mind that she lost in the primary when she ran against Republicans, and then she's only in because she got the 2-year position when she ran against Democrats. So hopefully next year, or when there's another primary and the Republicans won't vote for her this time again. We'll see. Yeah.
You know, the audience doesn't need to get up and bash the board members.
Yeah.
The
And then we got the
crazy.
Moms for Liberty sitting behind us.
What?
The Moms for Liberty supporters of Janelle behind us clapping at the nonsense too. And inserting. If you notice, they're the ones.
I don't even have kids
I
in
know.
the school district.
You notice they're the ones that also attack me on social media as well. I don't know if you saw the Gettysburg Times or on Littlestown. I
Well,
don't
that's
remember
where I
what it
started reading about stuff in the last month. They
Yeah.
talked about her putting a mirror up, and I thought, you got to be kidding me.
Yep.
And I don't know who started the thread on Facebook,
Yeah.
but I responded that this infighting has to stop.
Yeah.
It's just got to stop.
Yeah. No, they just all want to blame one person, but it's not one person. And when they removed the president, I said at that same meeting, I said, you're going to get a change of leadership tonight, but that's not going to be the magic wand. You all got to work together and stop this nonsense. And unfortunately, we see that. They changed the presidency, and it's still going on.
At first, I thought, new superintendent, new board, they just got to learn to mesh together. But
Yeah.
it's not.
No, and honestly, he's part of the problem. And so now they want to keep him on not just till June, now they want to keep him on for 6 more months so he can mentor the new superintendent, which will cause more problems. And
Well, I agree with him. I'm retired. I'm living off Social Security.
Yeah.
And you keep raising.
I'm a single mom, and I have a
We
parent.
pay a lot of money in
Yeah.
taxes, a tremendous
Yeah.
amount in taxes. You got somebody up there, I want to know if is he a property owner?
Absolutely not. Nope.
So, if it's not your money, you don't care how much you're
Yep.
spending.
And he's on the finance committee making these decisions. So, and I'm a single mother paying this
There
stuff.
you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
With a kid in the
You go
district,
to
and
the
they
store,
they
you
attack
see-
me.
You see a New York Steak, $14.99 a pound,
Yep.
and you think, we're gonna have Salisbury steak.
Yeah.
You have to live within your, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm a parent, and they attack me. I'm like, I'm a parent in this district. Why are you attacking me? A single mother.
I think their minds are already made up.
It's all about politics, and I don't stand with the Republicans, I don't stand with the Democrats. I stand for what's right, and I speak on my own. I don't bully up, which is what they do.
Yeah.
It's all about divisiveness, and
Like
I'm
her
not like that.
husband, there was no need for that rant.
No,
And certainly not a flaw.
no.
Jimmy,
Well,
I can stand on this.
oh, that wasn't Jenny. It was well, I just want to
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jimmy, I've been told to tell you that she testified evening gowns, we're gonna have evening gown attire tonight. I just met you and it's already down. I know with him, sorry, no, he's way bigger than I am, I am not messing with him. Well, we're not gonna do that, I think Mary had an idea. But I'd like to full attire now. Our solicitors
most of the.
And 2 minutes are over.
Right. But you can see that from the road.
Yeah.
Thank you.
On you. Okay, back to. And the heart of the meeting. Are we ready, folks, to the right to the left? Okay, discussion on. I need a motion to approve the regular board meetings, regular board meeting, April 15th.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I'll second.
Discussion.
Come on, stay with the program.
You've got lights now.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Special, I need a motion for a special session meeting on April 22nd, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so on the first and seconds, because Gary can't write that fast.
Carl,
Yes, ma'am.
did you get Fred said no?
Oh, Fred said no to the special session.
Yeah.
Right? Frankly not, thank you. I need a motion for the Finance, Property, and Supply Committee meeting on May 7th, 2024.
So moved.
Seconded.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Curriculum, co-curriculum, and policy meeting on May 7th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Work session on May 13th, 2024.
So moved.
Sorry. Okay, so we got a motion. Do we have a second? Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes. That's it. Mr. Stephen, will you please start off with tonight's property and supply, pulling out A, please. A and I, at least.
Is there any other letters besides A and I to come out?
I'd like to pull G. And I'd like to pull N2.
Okay, no problem?
All right. So, I guess we'll address, go through all the rest and then address the full.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to do it.
All right. So, I recommend a form of a motion to approve B, C, D, E, F, H, J, K, F, I, I'm sorry, L, M, and that's it for right now until we get down a little further.
Okay, in the form of a motion, I have a recommendation to approve B, C, D, E, F, H, I, K, L, and M.
So
So moved.
No
Seconded.
I. No I. No ayes. No ayes. Okay. Do I have any discussion on those said? Hearing none? Hearing none, vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried.
Okay, Carrie, could we have a roll call vote for A?
You have to make the motion first.
Or sorry. Make a motion?
You still need to make a motion.
motion. So moved.
No, he's got to make it.
Oh.
I make the motion to pull A and have a line vote.
You say, if I was you, I would say
Form of
something.
motion, thank you.
Recommend approval.
Recommend approval of A.
Having a motion to approve, recommending approval of the 2024-2025 proposed final budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the proposal of the final budget? Hearing none. Carrie, would you do a roll call vote starting from the middle? I'm going to really mess with you.
All right. Fred Miller.
No.
Janelle Ressler. No. Wayne Sullivan.
No.
Yes.
Danielle Brenneman.
No.
Mary Brenneman.
No.
Brian Loyer.
Yes.
And Nick Lowe.
No.
All right, we have no proposed final budget. So, okay. All right, we will have, okay, we will have a special session. I'm announcing here now that we will have a special session in 2 days on Wednesday at 6 o'clock to discuss a final budget.
6 o'clock.
That's why I said Wednesday. Okay. Can everyone make it Thursday at 5?
Thursday at 5.
Yep.
I don't know if Fred can or not, you should answer.
We have our other executive sessions.
We have another meeting that day.
Yep.
So I would rather do it the same day instead of Wednesday, personally.
All right, they're saying I need a little bit more time to get it down. Although we do know somebody with the paper sitting in front of her else.
We can get it Wednesday.
Thursday at 5?
As long as we can get it advertised, we gotta get it advertised.
Hey, that's not good advertising, that's another cost, but okay.
Hey, Carl,
Yeah.
when I mentioned Fred, he doesn't get off work till 5:30, 6 o'clock. That's why I said it.
I'm gonna be pushing it tomorrow.
Take all
That's
work.
possible.
Yeah.
Kate,
I think it's the
Kate, you told me I could.
My only question is, no one had any discussion over this, and we've been working on this, and now we have 6 people that all of a sudden said no.
You've been working on this for months.
So I'm gonna pause for a second, I'd like to get some discussion. Why the no votes? Well, within reason, without any discussion, specifically asked discussion. And if there's something, Thomas has something to work on before Wednesday. Give him a reason what your no's are, and what you'd like to see. There's 6 of you. Because we cannot proceed as a school board without a budget.
In the committee, one of the things I asked the questioner last week about, we can still pay our bills and maintain our budget without an increase in taxes.
Yep, and the only thing that is built in there is 2 items, ACTI and just ACTI.
So the tax increase would go for only ACTI and nothing else. But we don't have ACTI yet, right? We're still looking for land? Is
No,
my
no, no,
understanding?
ACTI exists.
Right, I know it exists, but I thought this was to go towards the bigger project that's coming up in a few years.
Yes. Yes.
We can do this now by saving a little bit each year, or we can wait for a couple years and hit it all at once.
And then
If we'd rather not, we can use that money then to earn interest as we put that money into a bank account and have more money when we get to the end of those 3 years. Or in 3 years, we can hit you with an even larger tax increase, or tell the students that, you know what, you don't get to participate in ACTI. That's your choices.
That's what,
We
that's
don't
how
want
we're working.
ACTI to go away, it needs to stay. That's
Yeah.
important.
Is there anybody that would like, that's on the -6 side, on the 6 side, that would like to reopen the votes? I mean, that's what that is. That's all there is the 1% is going straight to ACTI, and I do believe that I had asked Thomas to put it in a account very much similar to, I like a better terms, that somebody said a rainy day fund, but it's a rainy day fund
No.
specifically designed for ACTI. An assigned account.
Right.
Can't be pulled out and paid to put a football field in or put a new backstop up or anything like that. It has to go towards ACTI.
And that we can accrue interest at this point on the 1% tax increase.
Correct.
A motion to reopen.
Okay, I've got a motion to reopen. Do
Second.
I have a second? Oh, we have a second. Okay.
Janelle?
Okay, so we're going to ask this question one more time. Can I do this? There's a motion that's been laid on the table to reevaluate and recommend approval of the 2024-25 proposed final budget with a 1% increase, specifically going only to ACTI and assigned fund balance. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none. Can I get a roll call vote again, please? Starting anywhere you want.
Danielle Brenneman,
No.
Mary Brenneman,
Yes.
Brian Moyer,
Yes.
Nick Lovell,
No.
Fred Miller,
Fred Miller.
No.
Janelle Ressler,
Yes.
Wayne Sullivan,
No.
Carl Thompson,
Yes.
Stephen Yurger.
Yes.
All right, it passed 5-4. I appreciate those that have changed their minds. I know it's very difficult on you. And,
I mean, it affects us too.
Oh.
We live here, so it does affect us.
we still have to have one more vote. That was a motion to reopen. Now we need to have the vote. I apologize. I know this. We don't do this often. Okay. One more time. This is actual vote for the budget. As defined.
You mean the proposed budget, right?
The proposed budget as defined with the 1% going specifically to an ACTI assigned account fund balance.
Proposed budget.
Mary Brenneman,
Yes.
Brian Moyer,
Yes.
Nick Lovell,
No.
Fred Miller,
No.
Janelle Ressler,
Yes.
Wayne Sullivan,
No.
Carl Thompson,
Yes.
Stephen Yurger,
Yes.
Danielle Brenneman. No.
Still 540 passes, thank you. All right, and again, I appreciate that, I know it's difficult. On to letter I. And I'm gonna pause for a second to explain why letter I was pulled for those people in the audience. Oh, no vote, or no meeting on Wednesday now, sorry. For those,
Point of order, Carl.
Yes, sir.
Are we supposed to be doing G?
I'm, yeah,
Yes.
I had G, I'm sorry.
So let's pull the letter G.
Thank you. Form of a motion recommend.
Pull motion to recommend pulling G.
Let's say form of a motion recommend the letter G.
G.
Did you say that? I have a motion to recommend approval of the 2024-2025 PSBA contract.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. And I, of all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Let's see. All right, now, on to I. I was pulled because there was a typo and we left a particular game off Sunday schedule. It is not in your print. It is not, it's for additional games approved for June 16th. It would have come in before our next meeting. We added it. We apologize. That's what we're going for. So that's the reason for that. Go ahead with your recommendation, if you would.
Okay, we have a recommendation for letter N.
Aye. Aye.
Oh, sorry. We have a recommendation for letter I.
I have a recommendation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Do you want to pull, I'm assuming you want us to pull and do each one of them separately? Dwayne?
Yeah, you can do 1 and 3 together if you wish, but number 2 I want to pull separately, yes.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
I make a recommendation to pull N to,
Recommendation to approve.
a recommendation to approve, thank you.
Which one?
And 1, 3.
N one. Three.
And 3. Okay, I have a recommendation to approve N1 and N3. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none. Motion carries.
Carl, I'd like a roll call vote on N2, please.
Steve?
Yep. Okay, recommend a roll call.
No, just recommend.
Just recommend. I'll get it, I'll get it. Thank you all for being
Yeah, great.
patient.
Sorry.
Great.
All right, you still gotta do it, you gotta say recommend N2.
Recommend N2.
I have a recommendation for N2. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Carrie, a roll call vote has been asked. Would you please start working?
We got to do a discussion.
Oh, any discussion here? Sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and state that my objection to the $300 donation from Promised Land is that this person that owns Promised Land has cost the district $1,496.50. So I'm going to ask, just ask that if the $1,496.50 were paid back, then the $300 would be logical to take too. So that's just my point on it. I don't think we should take one and not the other. I think it's, I just think it's disingenuous at best. So this district's been run through the ringer with solicitor fees or a right-to-know request that you could have got online if you just went in and listened to it. So that's where I stand with it. District is down $1,496.50 due to solicitor fees, and this $300 is nothing in the pot. That's my words on it.
Duly noted. Any further discussion? Okay.
Brian Lawyer,
Yes.
Nick Lovell,
Yes.
Fred Miller,
Yeah, I think that was a no.
Janelle Ressler,
Yes.
Wayne Sullivan,
No.
Carl Thompson,
Yes.
Stephen Yerger,
Yes.
Danielle Brenneman. Yes. Mary Brenneman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're looking to approve items O, 1 through 6. Does anybody have any?
They're noted.
They're noted.
They're noted.
If anyone has any questions, P1 through 6, please, okay.
Does anybody have any
Any
questions?
issues?
I would like to pull P1.
You want?
Anybody else need anything pulled in P? Okay, go ahead.
All right, make a motion to approve. Oh, I mean P1, I'm sorry, P2 through 6.
Okay, got a motion to approve P2 through 6.
Second.
Awesome. Okay. Any discussion on P's 2 through 6? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion's carried.
All right,
You got the same motion?
so make a motion to approve general fund checks.
I have a motion to approve the general fund checks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? I'm assuming I got some somewhere.
I have a couple questions. So
Okay.
my first one is, why do we have so many different phone carriers?
I could answer that one because each one of them, each administrator has their own plan. The school doesn't have its own plan. So those that have their own, that have to have it, i.e. Tom, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Carolyn there, they all have their own. That's why it's like that. Because we don't pay a general bill, we reimburse them, and that's how it is done.
So like Brightspeed that's listed on here, that's personal phone?
It's a
Tom?
little different than that,
Okay.
what she's talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Brightspeed would be our handheld phones.
Mhm.
What would be another one question?
Well, I saw another one on here. assuming is the cell phones? Or is that-
Hotspots.
That's your hotspots. Should've wrote the other one down. But anyway, I've seen a couple different ones on here. So I just wanted to check and see why there's different ones. And
That's
then,
another question that always comes up.
oh, Verizon, but that's my, so that's a hospital. Okay, so my other question is, what are all these payments for band design to different people?
So that's our, I guess you'd say contractors who do design work with our extracurriculars such as like drama, and they do the band design, so like blue band, stuff like that, so they get paid a stipend for choreography and design and stuff like that that they're contracted to do.
And we need that many of them?
We have several events, so it takes several to do each event.
That's all.
Any other questions? The Brennan's on this side.
Everything's on plan, thank you.
And that's how it works. Thank you. Okay, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None have it. Okay, Mr. Lovell, you're up.
All right, we've got quite the personnel report tonight. So, does anyone have any items they wish to be pulled other than the ones noted, which are I through H, we're also going to pull E. Anyone have any other items?
I'd like to pull K, L, M, and N.
Yeah, when you go to pull J, Lovell, you do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'd like them to be a roll call vote on those.
Yes, as I indicated, I through N, we pull, and let's do a roll call. And then, I and J was, so. All right, in the form of a motion, I recommend approval of personnel items A, B, C, D, F, G, and H.
Can you say that again, Nick, please? Thank you. If you don't mind.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of personnel items A, B, C, D, F, G, and H.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a motion laid on the table to approve A, B, C, D, F, G, and H. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on those particular personnel?
The only thing I'd like to ask Carl, if you don't mind,
No?
how do we get to a point where we're actually approving field trips after they're already done?
This was brought up 2 weeks ago at the work session, and I brought it up. This was a lack of communication ability that has happened. It has since been corrected. This is a personal pet peeve of mine, and it's something that has been promised to me that will never happen again. And I hold that person to their promise.
Thank you, Carl. Carl,
Yes.
just a question for, I didn't pull it, a question for Dr. Fiaski. The psychologist, we talked about this last week, but just for the public. We always have had a school psychologist position,
Correct, it's a district position that we were never able to fill.
and so this is just filling that
So it's
position,
Filling that position, yes.
and it's not us adding the second position.
No.
Thank you.
Funds were being paid out somewhere else at a greater expense, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I really should have pulled D. Is it too late?
It is at this point. Okay. Hearing any more comments, concerns on those letters? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
In the form of a vote, we're going to do all these separate.
favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of Janelle Ressler as a 5-year renewal classroom volunteer.
I have a motion laid on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes.
Recommend approval of, I'm going to mess this first name up,
Mithany.
Mithany Smith as a 5-year renewal classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposing? Motion carries.
In the form of a motion, recommend Megan Hall for approval as a 5-year renewal classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Form of a motion, recommend approval of Jennifer Potteroff as a classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Form of a motion, recommend approval of Dana Keller as a classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of Stephen Yerger as a classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Form of a motion, recommend approval of Nick Lovell as a classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Form of a motion, recommend approval of Amber Windish as a classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
The form of a motion, recommend approval of Dwayne Sullivan as a classroom volunteer.
Second.
I already had a motion. Okay, seconded. Okay, any discussion?
I don't feel comfortable here. Lineman in the classroom. There have been multiple times already since he's joined the board that he has not been truthful with the board. He has, and again, mentioned the video, taking the video and using it to disparage people. I do appreciate that he agreed not to videotape the kids this evening, but as was said, he's still videotaping the kids in the auditorium. So I have some real concerns here, given the outburst at one of the meetings and the stomping out. What if you don't get your way in the classroom? I just have some reservations about approving this.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, I guess, is the deal.
I think so.
Your choice.
Nick Lovell,
No.
Fred Miller, Janelle Ressler,
No.
Wayne Sullivan,
Yes.
Carl Thompson,
No.
Stephen Yerger,
No.
Danielle Brenneman,
Yes.
Mary Brenneman,
Yes.
Brian Lawyer.
No.
Does not carry. Okay. All right, we'll pass next.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of Leonard Doyle as a classroom volunteer.
Okay, motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of Danielle Brenneman as a classroom volunteer.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of Casey Serrano as a classroom volunteer.
I have a motion on the table, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval to elect Carrie Mummert as board secretary for a 4-year term effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2028.
I have a motion laid on the table, do I have a second?
Second.
Good popularity there, Karen. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Roll call, sorry. Sorry, I tried to get out of this. I'll learn to read. You go where you want.
Fred Miller.
Fred, Gary's secretary, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Janelle Ressler.
Yes.
Dwayne Sullivan.
Yes.
Carl Thompson.
Yes.
Stephen Yerger.
Yes.
Danielle Brenneman.
Yes.
Mary Brenneman.
Yes.
Brian Moore.
Yes.
Nick Wolf.
Yes.
Okay. You're up.
Yeah. In the form of a motion, well, no, what I think I have to do here is open.
Let's come back to
for
that.
nomination.
Yeah, let's come back.
Come back. The form of a motion, recommend approval of the assistant superintendent
Nick,
contract.
I'd like to make a motion to table.
Point of order.
K, L, M, and N.
Point of order, that's not in order.
I can recommend to table it at any time.
Once if I can jump in, once a motion has been made and seconded, then the motion to table can be appropriate. So as soon as the second is made, the motion to supersede will take effect.
So, I'll try it again. In the form of a motion, recommend approval of the assistant superintendent contract with Dr. Timothy Mitchell.
Do I have a second?
Second. I make a motion to table it.
The motion laid on the table to, laid on the table to table the motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Do I take a vote to table it? Any discussion on tabling it?
My discussion is I don't think this came out of executive session and the public has not had enough time to digest this. I think it's very costly to the district. I don't think we need to go this route. The contract's not over until June 30th of 2025. I don't know why we're changing his position from assistant to superintendent to assistant superintendent. We have a brand new, will have a brand new, I'm sure, superintendent coming in. He may want a different setup, and this would tie the new superintendent's hands behind his back and not allow him to pick his own staff, should he even want an assistant superintendent. Another thing I want to address is this assistant superintendent. I do know there was an article written about Don Bell's tenure at Northern Lebanon School District.
Say the subject, say the subject.
Well, this is the subject.
About the assistant
Yes,
superintendent.
it is. It has very relevance to it. He operated 18 years without an assistant superintendent, and he bragged about it. I want to know why all of a sudden we need one. He had 6 schools, why we need one with 2 schools. That's what I want to know.
Well, we've had one for the last couple of years.
We've had
This is
assistant
not
too.
new. This is not new.
Can you explain
It's a matter of title, it's a formality, that's pretty much it. And let's not forget that while you were president, you brought out forth the service contracts with about the same amount of time for the public to look over it. So, you know, I mean, can we just, let's vote and get it over with?
Well, let's not forget, we were talking about this in executive session the other night, and he stormed out, wasn't there for the discussion,
No,
so.
I didn't storm out during this, so that's wrong.
All right, so what you want to know why we're going to do this? All right, I'll tell you why we're going to do this. As again, I will tell you. Littlestown is known for training people and for them to leave, okay? We lose teachers all the time. Mr. Tom was the last one we lost. He was a fantastic teacher. He went 30 minutes down the road and he's making, what, $15,000 more than he made here. That could happen to every teacher in our district. Our teachers, all right, stay, even though they're not one of the highest paid, and so do our administrators. And so we're taking care of them because we've got a good group of administrators that are going to have a tough job in front of them when we do merge in a couple of years, and so we want them to stay. We have good people. Why would you not want to pay them? Why would you not want to reward them for decent work? And yes, I'm well aware of the math scores, and guess what? So is every one of those administrators sitting down there, and every one of those administrators are trying to come up with a strategy to address those. And right now, again, I will reiterate, I think we have a pretty good lineup, and I'm ready to go into this merger with them as best we can, as many as we can keep. Because you are right, there may be a realignment when we do hire a superintendent.
And more importantly, the reason that we would put these contracts out like this is to get this off the table so that the new superintendent, who he or she may be, would not have to worry about this in their coming year. So if we get the lucky and can hire them and they can get out of where he or she may be, and they get here but after the appropriate time that they have to give their school district, maybe they're here by October, maybe. So they come on board, they've got October, November, December, and bam, they're already worrying about something that's coming up in June. So that puts them behind the 8 ball already. So this is one less thing they've got to worry about. If they don't like it, there is a recourse in all of these contracts, or for Mr. Mitchell, for the business administrator, to get rid of them with the appropriate amount of time. And so if that's what the problem is, if they want to bring their own people on board. Don, Nick, you're right.
I would just say it's very hard to get good people and to get good staff. And we have a spectacular staff. And to be quite honest with you, with a board member treating staff like this in a board meeting, I think that we're going to have an awful hard time getting any staff that want to come to Littlestown. So I think you should apologize.
I'm not going to apologize, but you're going to cost the district $15,000 more right off the bat. We don't have this money. We are $1.3 million in the hole. We do not have the money to do any of these contracts. Where are you going to find it?
Motion to call the question.
Okay, then motion to call the question. Those who would like to table the measure, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those that don't want to table the measure?
Aye.
No.
No.
Or no?
I think that's how it, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't hear it, so he was a little late.
He said,
That's it, okay.
We got
We got
it
it.
correct.
Okay, so the motion has been laid on the table for the assistant superintendent's contract. Roll call vote, please.
Janelle Ressler,
yes.
Wayne Sullivan,
What is the motion now? To table it?
No, not to table, we already approved. To approve it or not?
Oh, to approve it or not? I say no.